Mute yourselves and go ahead and ask your question, please.
Sure.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Just for the I have a question that's actually unrelated to the lecture.
Yes.
So it's about when it comes to animals and humans.
Yes.
So I want to know what Islam's view or retaliation is to the theory of evolution. What arguments it has and what resources I could use for that topic.
Second unit of Islam, we have a discussion about theory of evolution. Have it the book or not, but it's also online. So over there in second unit we have talked about theory of evolution. We don't have any issue with theory of evolution. It's not that it's going to be in conflict with Islam or the Qur'an. Even there have been some Muslims, even among some ayatollahs, who said that theory of evolution is acceptable. You know, Ayatollah Mishkini rahmatullah alayh, he has a book, Takamul da Quran, evolution in the Quran, and he argues from the Quran that evolution is compatible with the Quran. Or one of the Muslim scientists in Iran, Dr. Yadullah Sahabi, has a book maybe written 60, 70 years ago, scientific and Quranic at the same time, Khilqat Insan, about creation, and he argues for takamul. But some of Mufassirin say that it seems according to the Zahir of Qur'an. So Qur'an is not contradicting with evolution. But al-ma'na al-zahiri, the apparent meaning of the Qur'an, which we should go by unless there is proof against it. Okay? So al-ma'na, because we have two types of meaning. One is nas, one is zahir. Nas means very explicit. If something is nas, we cannot have any other interpretation. But if it is zahir, means unless there is evidence against it, we go by the general rules and we understand this way. So some ulama say that the apparent meanings of some verses of the Quran refute takamul, evolution. For example, Ayatollah Misbah says that the ayah إن مثل عيسى عند الله كمثل آدم خلقه من تراب. The example of Isa with God is like Adam, because Christians of Najran, when they went to the Prophet, they asked, everyone has a father. Who was the father of Isa? So his father must be God. The ayah was revealed that Isa is like Adam. Did Adam have father? No. Adam indeed didn't have also mother. So why you are surprised? No one says Adam is son of God, although he didn't have father and mother. So this ayah, it says the example of Isa is like the example of Adam, suggests that Adam must not be a result of evolution, because if Adam was a result of evolution, he must have then parents, and then this cannot be a reply to those who said, Isa must be son of God. It can only be said in response to them if Adam didn't have father and mother. Okay, but this is Zahir, this is not Nas. But what is interesting is that in our hadith collections, we have hadith from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam that before this Adam there were many other Adams. So either you say Quran is not against takamul, and Adam may not be the first Adam, as some people say, because it says Inna Allah hastafa Adam. Or even we say if Adam was the first human being and all human beings of today go back to him and Eve, this doesn't mean that before our line there were no other human beings. So all human beings today go back to Adam and Eve, and he was created by Allah directly. But Hadith says before this Adam there were many other Adams. Okay? So maybe they were a result of evolution. Plus, Ayatollah Mutahari says theory of evolution actually can be used as a support for the argument from design. You know, we have different arguments for existence of God. Some of them are philosophical, and it doesn't matter whether there is evolution or no evolution, etc. One argument which is based on order and purpose in the creation and design in the creation is argument from design, Burhan and Nazm. And some people think that if we say Nazm is process of evolution, this argument might become weakened. But Ayatollah Bukhari says actually this is helpful, because if this world is made in the way that can evolve, this is a more sophisticated design. If you make a factory that can upgrade itself, then this is more sophisticated design than a factory that cannot upgrade itself. So at no level we have difficulty with theory of evolution. If we accept it, if we don't accept it, it doesn't make any difference for us. But at the same time, you must know that there are great scientists in the West who are against theory of evolution. You know, these are called creationists. Some of them are top scientists in US, in other countries, and they are against the theory of evolution. But we say, okay, it's a scientific theory, it has some evidence, there are serious question marks still about this theory, but no matter whether we accept or not, it doesn't pose any, threat to our faith.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum salam.
My understanding is that the Islamic perspective is that even if we do believe in the theory of evolution, that it's within species and not cross species. Is that correct? Like we don't believe that we came from apes.
Islamically, we don't believe that at least this line of human beings is coming from apes. But if there were other human beings coming from that, it doesn't matter. There is no issue. It's not something that you have to have a firm belief that this is the case. Okay? This is one of the issues that scholars can have different opinions.
Thank you. And if I may, a follow-up question.
Yes.
Whether we have more details, or whether Islam includes more details about, because I understand that the theory of evolution could apply to the line of humans that came before Adam, alayhi salam, but is there anything that addresses non-humans? Like, do we agree with every single detail that these animals that were on the planet came from water and then land and water?
Islamically, we are not in need of accepting or rejecting. What I'm saying is this. This is an empirical issue. Okay? There is evidence that suggests evolution. There is evidence that contradicts evolution. But Islamically, we don't need to take a position here. Okay? What is important Islamically is that this world has a creator who is wise, there is design, there is order, there is purpose. And also, it seems from the Quran, as I say, we say seems, first one is clear, that according to Ma'na Zahiri, Adam was created directly by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if there were other human beings and they were created directly or they were created through evolutionary process, it doesn't matter. We are very relaxed here from theological perspective. If you are a biologist, if you are a scientist, just go for evidence. So far, there is no decisive evidence that says definitely every species is a result of evolution. Yes, we see signs, but you cannot say definitely every species is a result of evolution. And everything has started, for example, from a simple cell.
Thank you. Jazakumullah, Sheikh.
May Allah bless you.
Are there any other questions? Either you can post it in the chat or you can unmute yourself and ask directly.
I have a question. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna.
Alaikum
Thank you very
assalam.
much, lecture. I have a question, but it's not related to the subject.
Yes.
So I received a question from a young girl. I tried to answer it, but I would really like to hear your answer. So she was asking if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is able to imprison the shayateen and the devils during Shahr Ramadan, why does he just do this all year long? Why does he only do this during Shahr Ramadan only?
Because human beings need to be tested. The level of perfection that we can achieve is higher than angels because we are tested. We are given free will and we are tested. For having test, there must be challenge. If there was no shaitan and no nafsa ammare and no bad people, this was not a test. Okay? It's like, for example, in the school, if you have test, but you don't ask about difficult subjects of the book, then people don't learn. If you say, no, we only ask you simple things that you know. There must be challenge. But the good point is that Satan don't have control over us. If they had control, this was not a test, because everyone is going to fail. They have no control. They need to be free so that we know who is really passing the test and who is not passing the test. But month of Ramadan is a special month, is a special environment, and if we benefit from this month of Ramadan, for the rest of the year also, we can inshallah protect ourselves from their temptations. So it's like, for example, when you go to the school, in the first month, they don't ask you difficult questions. In the second month, they let you relax. So, month of Ramadan, in a sense, is the first month in our spiritual calendar, yeah? From Laylatul Qadr, we start a spiritual calendar. So, you are not faced with challenges right in the month of Ramadan. To strengthen yourself, then they come afterwards. But also, you should know that many of our problems are not because of shaitan. And this is why you see in the month of Ramadan also, it's not that we don't have, temptation, we don't have, our, vicious traits of character. Still we have problems, less than other months. But for example, if you check yourself and people around you, how much you think they change in the month of Ramadan? Is it that, for example, all of a sudden they become 50% better, 60% better? No, some people become better, but many people remain the same. Okay? So it shows that it's not that shaitan is doing most of the mischief, and we are just victims. No, we are doing most of the mischief, and shaitan is also clapping for us, encouraging us. But shaitan is not pushing us. Ma kana li alaykum min sultan. Shaitan says, I don't have any authority over you.
Thank you very much, Sheikhna.
May Allah bless
That's very
you.
clear.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. I had a question
Alaykum
too.
assalam. Yes?
Thank you for the lecture. It was really interesting to get to know Nabi Isa more from, like,
Alhamdulillah.
depending on the Qur'an. My question was, how do we might have already like asked this question, but I might have forgotten the answer.
Yes.
So how can we build our determination stronger? As we said, like if we build a stronger determination and power and knowledge, we get a greater experience of life, as you said. And yes, that was it.
Yeah. To strengthen your determination, you need to do few things. One is to observe wajibat and muharramat. This by itself makes you very strong. No matter whether you are tired, whether you are discouraged, etc. If you observe your wajibat, for example, your hijab, okay, your salat, this makes you very powerful. And avoid haram, no matter how much pressure or temptation or desire or I don't know, encouragement from peers, etc. Strength comes when you refrain against haram, refrain from haram. Number two, if you keep some discipline for yourself, this is very good. For example, certain things say, every day I must read this much Qur'an, no matter what happens. Or every week I have to do, for example, this much study. Every week I have to do this much exercise. Keep these things for yourself. Anything that you keep regular strengthens your willpower, gives you confidence, gives you courage. You can keep your decisions, okay? And stand against instant, satisfactions, instant pleasure, instant decisions. Because whenever you are pressurized to do something quickly and immediately and instantly, then you don't take time to think and exercise your willpower. You are rushed into decision. And also, months of Ramadan by itself is a great booster for willpower. For a whole month, you change your, routine. You don't eat, you don't drink. It's giving you lots of, strengths. And if needed, through musharata. Musharata, for example, if you undertake something and say, if I don't do it, then I have to give this much sadaqah, or I have to do this work, etc. This can also strengthen your willpower. Also, reading the lives of people who were determined and succeeded. If you study any scientist, any even successful businessman, businesswoman, any mujahid fi sabilillah, you see that they were very determined. Even in dunya, people cannot excel without determination. Those who are after power also are determined. Day and night they work so that they get elected, for example. So dunya and akhirah both need sa'i. Quran says, Man arada dunya wa sa'a laha sa'iyaha. There are people who want dunya and make sa'i. There are people who want akhirah and make sa'i. And he helps both. Kullan numiddu ha'ula wa ha'ula. So, these are some of the things that help, plus reflection. Reflection is very important. When you have an aim and you know that you have to achieve it, don't stop there. Every day, reflect on that. Refresh your understanding that I must achieve this aim. If I achieve, what happens? If I don't achieve, what happens? Every day reflect, meditate, ask Allah to help. Inshallah, you will have great willpower.
Okay, thank you so much, Sheikh.
May Allah bless you,
Jazakumullah khair.
inshallah. Thank you.
Sheikh, do you have time for one more question?
Pardon?
Do you have time for one more question?
Yeah, one more question.
Yeah, I wonder, can you, because the girls and I were having this discussion about doing the dhikr, doing the constant remembrance of God. And we want to know specifically how when you're doing the dhikr, how it impacts on the heart. How the tongue is connected to the heart.
Mm. So, when you say dhikr, then you are engaging your heart and mind, because your tongue cannot function by itself. So the decision for saying dhikr is coming from the heart, and then what you say also goes to the heart. If you say it by meaning it and paying attention to it, then you are dictating it to your heart. Imam Khomeini very much, uses this point in Adab al-Salat, that you must make your heart understand what you say. You must dictating to your heart. Not that your heart doesn't know. Your heart knows this, but doesn't maybe welcome fully this. Okay? So there's a difference between knowing that Allah is Akbar and this settles in your heart. So when you are doing dhikr, you are reminding and dictating to your heart, and little by little, then your heart will be shaped by this. So heart goes through transformation. Then it becomes the opposite. Then the heart would automatically remind you and your tongue to say Allahu Akbar. So there are people who say Allahu Akbar from tongue so that the heart changes. There are people that heart believes in Allahu Akbar and then brings to their tongue this. For example, there are things that when something unexpected happens, you say. You didn't plan to say this. This was in your heart, For example, some people, when they are very surprised, they say Subhanallah. Okay, or when there is danger, they say something. This is in the heart. To the heart. It's different from someone who let me say 34 times Allahu Akbar. Other way, you are inserting this into the heart. Like circulation, tongue to the heart, heart to the tongue, so that there would be harmony.
And so is this why it's recommended that when you're doing the zikr, it should be audible?
Yeah.
So your whole being actually hears this?
Yes.
No. Okay.
In general, maybe sometimes in front of others,
Right.
Yeah, but in general, yes.
Thank you so much, Sheikh Shomali. Is it last chance, girls? If there's anyone has any last questions? Otherwise,
can I?
Yes.
It's not really a religious question.
Yes.
It's just because Sheikh, you have a lot of experience with universities abroad. If you were wondering, if I was wondering if you knew of universities that are that offer online programs but are recognized internationally.
Which subject?
Sciences.
Yeah. Many universities offer online courses. You mean Islamic universities, for example?
No, it's just like Canadian accredited ones.
Yeah, almost every university now has also online program, distance program.
Okay, thank you.
If you search for your own field of study, for example, online masters on, I don't know, psychology in Canada, then I'm sure you find many. But there are also maybe good universities outside Canada, but depends on.
Thank you.
May Allah inshallah bless you.
Thank you so much, Sheikh Shomali. Our salams to the family.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you much. May Allah bless you.
Inshallah, we look forward to seeing you again next time.
Inshallah, biznillah. Thank you. May Allah bless you, inshallah.
Thank you so much. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Sheikhna.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
Sheikhna, جزاكم الله خير. التماس دعاء.
التماس في أمان الله. May Allah bless you,
Thank
inshallah.
you.
Thank you.